Hi everyone, I hope you are all okay today. So I thought this evening it was time that we did our second page in Dark Fairytales. So I want to do this, I think, kind of the same way as we did the first one. We did this using the Derwent Graphitint Paint Pan set. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to do it the same. Just to, kind of keep it a bit cohesive, okay? Let's take our sticky tab off. But just in case, I also have the Gansai Tambi graphite colours, and I've got a new set, which is the Mei Lang's 52 colours. Just in case we want to bring in some other colours, which we may want to with, the heart and the brain, but we shall see. And the other page has dried really nicely. It's basically perfectly flat, and yeah, it's done really well. I'll just get my book because this has the swatches in it, so I'll pop that to the side. And yeah, I guess we will get started. So I've got a couple of water brushes, in case you haven't seen. This is the paint set. So we're just going to pop that off to the side. I'm going to need to move the book a little closer to me, so I'm going to have to smooth the camera. Okay, hopefully you can see everything there. So, what are we going to do? I think we're going to start off the grass. And I hope it'll just mix up some in here. So we're going to use some of the meadow. Let's pop a bit of water in there. And some of the slate green. Kind of get a nice kind of grass green look for it. Now, obviously, you don't need to use, graphite paints if you don't want to. I'm just using them because, I have them. And see, I made that a bit too blue. Yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah, because I have them, and it's, just kind of. Yeah, I like the tones you get. So this is basically just going to be a wash of this colour. Nothing complicated. Don't worry about using watercolour in this book. As you can see from the other page, it works absolutely brilliantly. It was quite crinkly, but I just popped it under, a couple of books, and yeah, it's turned out really well. So, yeah, I just thought it would be good to get this page done, and then I can decide what one we're going to do after, because you may remember, or you may not know if you haven't watched the other video, But I've decided I would like to do this as a full brain not working. Jesus. As a full book colour along for the channel. Well, colour along, paint along, pastel along, you know, whatever mediums take my fancy. I'm not someone that will just use like the same thing for an entire book. I'd get a bit bored, if I'm honest with you, doing that. So yeah, it's just gonna be kind of whatever takes my fancy. We'll go from there. So again, this is just going to be really, really simple. You know, if you don't have the Graphitint Paint Pans, you can use the pencils. If you don't have anything graphitinty, then just use normal watercolours. And just pick whatever colours you think will work best. Or you can use watercolour pencils. Yeah, whatever really. It does not matter what you use. Only thing that matters is that you are enjoying what you are doing. Sorry if that was my phone. So I have treated myself today. Just a little bit. Oh god. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a haul coming. Should be some point this week. But I've bought a bunch of watercolours and some books and possibly a new pencil set. It's a set that I have wanted for so long and I've just never gotten it because it's expensive. But I thought, you know what, it was on sale on Jackson's. So those of you that frequent Jackson's may know what I'm on about. And if you're in my group on Instagram, then you will know what I'm on about because I've said. But yeah. Okay, I'm next using the slate green. And we're just gonna go and pop this in, kind of where Kerby has put dark colours in, or you know, the heavier shading in and stuff. Let me just check I'm on camera. Yes, I am. Because that would be dreadful, and with how my filming has been going recently, yeah, I've had to scrap so many videos because I'm either just off camera or my giant head is just in the way and all you can see is my head, which isn't particularly useful. But yeah, so we're just gonna go and pop this in. Maybe we want things a little darker, add a little bit more depth. probably going to go in just with the meadow. To add in some of our brighter areas. So this is why I absolutely love watercolour. It is so quick. So quick. Like, if I was doing this with pencil, yeah, it would be hours trying to colour in all this grass. And I would probably get very, very fed up of it quite quickly. But doing it with watercolour, it goes so fast. Shading is really easy. And yeah, it's just fantastic. And you can just layer and layer and layer to heart's content. So now we're just going to go into the meadow and just pop this in a few places where we want a little bit more of the kind of yellow green. Let's get a little bit more water coming out with my brush here. Now, if you're using just normal watercolours, it is going to look different because they don't have graphite in them. But just pick whatever types of greens you want your grass to be. I like these kind of, more olivey type greens. But if you want to do it with, nice bright spring greens, then, go ahead. You can absolutely do that. Okay, and I'm just going to take some of that slate green again, just go back in some places. So, I have some thoughts about the Tin Man. I think I want to do him like he's kind of rusty. I've never done rust before, I don't think, with paints or pencils, so that might turn out to be an absolute disaster. But I've missed some grass down here. Let's go back to that main green we were using. There we go. Okay, 2 seconds. I need a quick drink. Okay, sorry about that. And oh, that's not what I wanted to do. What was I saying? I can't even remember. Yeah, you can kind of do, do as much or as little as you want with this, You can just layer a whole bunch and really, get a really deep depth of colour. Or you can leave it quite kind of loose. And either way, with watercolour, you know, both of them look really, really good. And look what I've managed to do. Let's put them back in. Graphite blue, graphite violet, graphite yellow. Oops, graphite green, graphite red, and graphite brown. Okay. So, what do I want to do? I think I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of graphite green. And see how that looks. Ooh, that is darker, isn't it? Maybe I like that. Yeah, I'm liking that, I think. It's just a little bit deeper. So, sorry, I'm not saying much. There's not really much to say. Yeah. But honestly, if you've never used watercolour in a colouring book or even, you know, in a Kerby book, I highly recommend you do it. Honestly, it's so much fun. It really is. I could easily do the entire book just in watercolour. I won't. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? This is Meadow Green again. I'm using at the moment. Maybe I might get another copy and have one just for watercolour. Could be fun. Let me know what you think. Would you be interested in like an entire one just being watercolour? 'Cause I'm not really someone that will, you know, buy more than one book, but this is just spectacular. And even though, you know, there are some pages that I'm not too, I wouldn't say too fussed on, because I still think they look absolutely amazing. But I just find a bit like, which is why I'm doing these ones first, because I don't want to do all of my favourites first. Just checking I can, oops, I hit my head on camera, oh my days. Okay, so I'm curious actually. I think we might open up our Mei Langs, and I'm tempted to go in with the yellow green and just see what that's gonna be like. I kind of like that. Now, you know, if you have like the graphitints but you don't have any other watercolours or something, you can just use, you know, a pencil on top in a yellow-green colour. Obviously, just make sure you know, your paper is completely dry before you do this. You don't want to go on top of wet paper, because it is not going to like that. But you don't need to do this. I just think it's, I don't know, just adding a little something something. I'm just giving it a bit more interest in a few places. And I'm going to go back to my meadow and just do a little bit more here because it's a bit faded. And go back to our yellow green again. And, you know, once you've watercoloured and it's dry, you can then always go in with pencil and do some more work on top. There is nothing stopping you from doing that. And just adding in more details and that with your pencil. I don't tend to do that when I do watercolour. Because, yeah, like I said, I just love doing watercolour, so yeah. Okay, I think I'm nearly done with the grass. And compared to what, you know, this would take us with a pencil, I would say this is pretty good. Okay, so let's pop this one away a second. May put it back out because I don't know, I might need to use it for the lion. I'm not entirely sure. Trying to see what colours I've got with this might work. Anyway, yeah, so I think, yeah, we might start actually. Let's start on the lion. And we're going to go in with the russets. Now we possibly will be going over this with some other colours from our Mei Lang set, maybe. Just trying to decide if I want him to be kind of really, you know, if I want him to be kind of brighter or not. I don't know. I've not decided. But we're just going to do the exact same thing that we kind of done with the grass and just, you know, throw a layer on him to start with. Just to get some colour down. Because once you have colour down, it makes everything so much easier, so much less intimidating, and yeah. So, you know, as you can see, I am really not taking any care doing this. I am just slopping the colour on. And then we can go in and add in our shadows and details after. Don't know what I want to do with spikes yet. You could kind of do them like bone, or we could go kind of more fantastical and do them in like gold maybe. It's actually quite a nice colour for a lion. But my thinking is I don't really want anything to be too, I don't know, overly bright, because, you know, like, to me, Oz, well, this version of Oz is like a twisted, a twisted dark kind of version. And I just don't think it's gonna have, really bright, punchy colours. So currently I am still just going in with the russet. What I would love to do would be to put one of these onto watercolour paper and just really go to town. But my printer won't print on watercolour paper, so can't really do that. But I can just imagine getting all of the gorgeous, watercolour effects that you can get on watercolour paper and everything like that. I think it would be beautiful. Okay, so that is him kind of beast. Now let's go in with the autumn brown and start adding this kind of where Kerby's done something to show them. And then we're probably going to mix the autumn brown and the russet for more of an orangey tone. In fact, yeah, let's do that. So let's go with a bunch of that russet. And then some of the autumn brown. Okay, and I think we're going to start putting this on his mane. Just to kind of distinguish, a little bit between his mane and the rest of his fur. Kind of want him to look quite majestic, because he is no longer our cowardly lion. He has most definitely found his courage, hasn't he? So I found the graphite paints is that when you mix them, they do tend to separate quite a bit, so you do need to just keep going in with your brush and just kind of mixing them together again. If you want to keep that, you know, colour that you've mixed. But it can create some really cool effects if you do let them separate. You tend to get the various pigments, and then you kind of get the graphite separating as well. Okay, he's starting to look pretty good, I think. So let's just, you know, continue adding in some shadows in places. We can deepen up some colours that we might want to, deepen up some areas. I might have to go into graphite yellow in places because that's quite dark. Graphite yellow is a little bit darker than the rest. It's kind of the same colour. Well, actually no, it's not really the same colour. Ignore me. I don't know what I am saying. But yeah, you can see just how quick this is getting done. Like, yeah. It's kind of crazy. And I find that, you know, with watercolour, even if you just put like one layer on, it's going to look good. Because then it just looks, you know, really loose and watercolour-y. Maybe a little bit of graphite red, because, I don't know, I kind of feel like there's maybe, I don't know, some spaces where like his skins are not overly there, I guess. Let's do his mouth with graphite red as well. And like it looks like his eye's missing. And he has some maybe like holes in his face. So we're just gonna kind of do that a little bit. I don't want to do it as like bright red blood or anything really, but I do want to show that it is a bit different to the rest of his skin and fur. Yeah, I think I want a bit more red in his mane. So we're going to go into graphite, no, autumn brown. Get your colours right. So yeah, I honestly fully encourage you to just play. You know, just play around and see where it takes you. And if you end up hating what you've done with the watercolour, you can always just go over the top with pencil. You know, pencil will go over the top, no problem at all. And, you know, like I said earlier, if you want more detail and when it's dry, you can just add more detail with pencil. paint pens if you want to, gel pens, anything goes. Now, obviously some mediums will kind of reactivate your watercolour a little bit. Gel pens shouldn't be too bad, to be honest. But, you know, if you're going to go to top with, like, I don't know, your Neocolor 2s or something, then you do need to be a little bit careful. I think he is looking quite cool. I think we're going to do a bit more. We're going to go back to the russet, and I think we're just going to maybe deepen his... Actually, I have the perfect colour. And that is the natural yellow. I think we're going to put a little bit of this in, just kind of to, I don't know, do something slight highlighty type areas maybe. And just to kind of pronounce a couple of areas. So again, you know, don't be afraid to mix and match your watercolour sets. You don't have to stick to just one. Sometimes when I'm painting, I'll have like 5 different sets out because, you know, some of them just have some slightly different colours that I want. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm kind of tempted. It's just streaking just some orange in his mane. Just in a few places. Now obviously, you know, as this is all, you know, watercolour, the colours are going to kind of blend together. So, you know, this orange is being toned down a bit because of the graphite underneath it. So you can use that to your advantage. Or if you don't want to, you can just keep layering kind of thing, and it will get to be a bit brighter. But I don't want to do too much. Okay, I'm going to go back in natural yellow again. And I mean, to be honest, that is a very similar colour to the russet. It's just a little bit more of a golden tone to it. Okay, going back to russet. Maybe a bit of graphite yellow down in this really dark area. And leg, back to the russet. Just do a bit more with his face. What is that called? Natural yellow. Again. I'm not going to worry that his teeth are a bit green. I'll go over them with a white gel pen, I think. Everything can be fixed. I'm just having fun now. You can stop whenever you want to. Don't feel like you need to keep going. If you're happy with where it's at, then you can stop. But if, like me, you just want to play around, then you go ahead. I'm gonna go with a little bit of nickel yellow. I'm just gonna see what that does. Does that make him look silly, or does it look good? Can't decide. Oh well. It is what it is. Maybe on his ear, just to make that kind of stand out a little bit more against his mane. Okay, now I'm going to go back into graphite red again. And just kind of come back into these areas. Okay, so I think that is our no longer cowardly lion done. Nope. Okay. So I think we are looking good. Now let's do the scarecrow. So I want his overall to be blue. I don't know why. That's what I'm seeing, so I'm going to go with ocean blue. It's got a bit more water coming out of our brush here. And like with everything else we've done, we are just going to throw down a layer of this colour. I don't know if I want to do it kind of like bone, or if I want to do it straw. I can't decide. I'm also trying to think what colour I want his shirt to be. Because again, I'm just not sure. No, these are the kind of thoughts that keep you up at night. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with some dark indigo and start, if I can actually get some paint on my brush, just start adding in our shadows. So, you know, Kerby's work is so easy to colour. Yes, it looks intimidating as anything, but he really does. I'm using violet. Why am I using violet? I was thinking that's looking a bit purple, because it is purple. I mean, you can use violet if you want to. Yeah, because he puts in all of your shading for you. So all you need to do is just follow what, you know, where he's put like more lines is where you want your shadow. And where there's less lines, where you want your kind of medium tones, and where there's no lines, where you want your highlights. And it's just that easy. Yeah. I think I might do port. Let's go with port for his shirt. Port is like a lovely dark red wine stain kind of colour. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So what has everyone been up to this week? Are you having a good weekend? Or have you had a good weekend, I guess, since it is now Sunday night? Have you got any plans for the upcoming week? Weather here in Wales has been glorious this past week or so. But it is apparently due to change. It's supposed to get rain coming through, and it's supposed to be getting quite cold again. So yeah, now I'm gonna go into graphite red, just for all these kind of shadow areas. And the collar, I'm gonna want dark. And where his overalls kind of overlap. Okay. No. I think it's gonna be russet again, to be honest, for the straw. I think that makes a pretty good kind of straw colour. As you can see, I'm not worrying about, going over the lines, really, or anything like that. Okay, oh no, that's meadow, it's the wrong colour. Do that bit of the arm, and his hat. I just realised my head may have been in the way. And if it is, I am going to be really upset. Hopefully, hopefully it wasn't, and if it was, it may be in a place where I can just crop it out, but we'll see. I like how his mane's dried. I think that's hopefully quite cool. Doing it like this almost feels like cheating because of how easy it is. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the graphite yellow. I'm just adding a couple of bits of shading here and there. Back to the set. Okay. Okay, I think let's see how this looks in just graphite grey. So it's basically just graphite. And see what we think of that. Maybe a tiny bit of russet as well. Oh, yeah, okay. That's looking kind of like an old, really weathered bone type look, I think. I think that works. I've got his neck. So let's just go down to russet. And just do that. Should we do his teeth like really kind of yellow? We can. Oh yeah, I think that looks cool. Okay, and that is our scarecrow done. I just need a quick drink again. Okay. So, Tin Man. I think we'll do in a mixture of kind of greys and blues. So, I think I'm going to start off with steel blue. And just pop that on him. Again, you know, we're just being really loose. Not worrying. Nope, I think I just went for some indigo then. Oh, Jesus, okay. It's a little bit more colour than I was expecting. But that looks kind of cool actually, so yeah, that works. Just going over all of him with this. Trying to kind of, you know, leave the heart out, but it's not the end of the world if we get some of this paint on it. A little bit more water coming out here. And whilst I'm using that colour, we are just going to go and pop it on our pitchfork. So if you can hear that, that is Fifi the rabbit doing whatever she is doing. And we're just going to put it on our axe as well. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with graphite grey. Just going to put this in shadows. So, you know, just doing the exact same thing that we've done with the rest of it. Just do a base colour and then just go in with a few shadows. And if you want to, you can then do some highlights with, you know, whatever your preferred way of doing a highlight is, whether it's a gel pen or paint pen, anything. Okay, I want to make this darker. I might actually go in with a heavier bit of the steel blue in there. And then some more of the graphite grey. So not quite dark. Okay. And just kind of playing around and just adding bits just here and there where I think it might be needed. Give me 2 seconds. I just need to adjust how I am sitting. Oh, where's my book moved? I am so sorry. I don't know how much of that you saw. I apologise. Oh my god. I am so sorry about that. Jeez. Right, so now I'm going to go in with graphite red, I think, and we're going to just kind of, yeah, let's do the heart in the graphite red. And I'm going to kind of just do that on the axe as well in places, so it looks like it's kind of dried. And we're going to do the same to brain. Now, I know brains aren't this colour, but I just kind of want to keep it, you know, in with the mood of the picture. Again, kind of feel like it's dropping a bit. I think I'm going to work a little bit more on this axe. And like that. Okay, so I want him to be a little bit rusty. So we're going to go with some autumn brown, I think, and just kind of, I don't know how this is going to go, so bear with me. I guess we're just going to kind of speckle this around in places. Not being overly particular about where it's going. There's some patches that Kirby's kind of drawn in. I don't know if that is for us or if that is from the heart that he has quite obviously removed from their owner. Maybe a bit on the spikes. So you can kind of do, you know, as much or as little of this as you want to. Okay, I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm liking this. Right, Gansai Tambi. We're just gonna go in with some graphite brown, and we are just going to paint the wood. On there, oops, sorry, I walloped the camera. And the wood on their weapons, tools, equipment, whatever you want to call it. It's nice and easy. Now we've got some birds. I think we'll just do them. Maybe even just graphite blue. Because we're not like a. Yeah, I think that will work. So we kind of give the impression of kind of being black, but not exactly. So again, we're just really roughly just kind of filling them in, because we're going to kind of blend in a little bit, I think, with the background. Maybe actually a bit of that graphite blue on this axe. Okay. So we're nearly done. Apart from spikes, I still don't know what I want to do with spikes. I think I'm gonna do russet. Mixed with the graphite grey. And just do a light coating of that on them. So the same kind of colour that we did Scarecrow's face with. Okay. Background! And I do not know why I said it like that, so yeah, Please ignore that. That was just weird. Okay, so I think let's go in with some graphite blue, kind of near the bottom. And I'm not worrying if I go over things or anything like that. It doesn't matter. It's fine. So a bit of graphite blue, and then we're going to go to the indigo. And we are just going to keep this really simple. I'm not going to worry that it's reactivated some green. You can just throw in a little bit more blue over the top and it will look fine. And then in places we'll just go in with the ocean blue. And maybe throw in some of the aubergine and juniper, potentially, just in a few spaces. And that is literally going to be our background. So nothing fancy in the slightest, because I don't want to deter from these guys. I keep moving my book up again. I apologise if I've been off camera. I'm just going to go very lightly over there because I don't want to disturb our drips too much. Don't know why I use my finger there. It's not going to do anything. More of the ocean blue. Just forgot what colour I was using. Ocean blue. And that's the one. Some of the aubergine. Maybe a bit of indigo. Like I said, I'm just going to keep it really just simple and light. But steel blue down here. Indigo. Probably should have done those drips last, but it's fine. Ocean blue. Maybe just want everything to kind of blend together. So again, it just kind of looks like this dark, foreboding sky. Okay, just a couple of little places left. Actually, no, let's go in with the steel blue for there. So I want that to be darker than his overalls. And same with this patch down here. Maybe a bit more of the aubergine up here. And some more water. There we go. So like with, the rest of it, you can just kind of play around as much as you want. Adding in your different colours. Like so. Nice and easy. Okay, that is pretty much done. Now I just want to grab a white gel pen. I'm going to go and just if I can get it working. There we go. Go over kind of where I put green in his teeth because I don't really want them green. That's not really working overly well, so maybe not. Just clean that eye up a little bit. Anything else? Just do claws slightly. Don't need to do too much. I'm just kind of tidying up slightly where I've gone over places. Yeah, I think we're done. So, there is our second page done in Dark Fairytales. And just so you can see, the back, nothing's gone through. Yes, it's a bit crinkly, but if I put them both here, once it's, gone under, I keep wiping my hand on it and I keep forgetting it's graphite and my hand comes away grey. So yeah, it will flatten out, no problem at all, and I think we look quite good together. So yeah, thank you if you have made it this far, and I hope that it was interesting or useful, or you know, something along those lines, please leave, you know, a like and a comment. And I found out the other day that like 89% of people that have been watching my videos aren't subscribed. So if you could please just, you know, smash that subscribe button, I would be so grateful. I really, really would. And yeah, let me know if you want to see a particular page coloured next. I don't think I want to do double page spread. So that narrows it down a bit. Might do rose red and snow white, maybe. Don't want to do Beauty and the Beast because I love those ones. Don't want to do Cinderella, same reason. Or Sleeping Beauty. Pinocchio, though it's a double page spread, but maybe. Like, I'm gonna have to get into double page spreads at some point. But let's see. Possibly Ugly Duckling. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you would like to see. And yeah, we'll do that. So thank you again for watching. And I will see you next time. Bye.